So that was to make editing easier. But, okay, Hispaniola, shut up. Or please listen, one of the two. Okay, anyways, here's what we need to take a look at. I am changing some things around like we talked about, but I just want to kind of give you some background so you kind of know what's happening. I'm doing this the wrong way. I'm going from not a lot of structure to having more structure, and that's what they teach you not to do, but that's kind of the situation that we're in. So if you go into Schoology, this is in there. You can either check it out now or you can just kind of follow along. But with starting the second semester and with how many people we have in the classes, I need to give you a little bit more freedom while also having more structure for me. I know that sounds a little weird, but you'll kind of see how things have been going. I talked to quite a few of you, and I got a lot of good feedback on things. Here's what we're doing. We're going to set this up so you have a better idea every week what is going to be happening on each day. I'm kind of modeling this after what Mr. Rissy does in a lot of his classes, what Mrs. Sharp used to do in her classes. And it's kind of like the same kinds of assignments, just so that set up in a way that you know what to expect. So like I mentioned before, my big goal this semester is to make sure that we've gone over enough content in detail where you would feel comfortable being in that first semester physics class in college. All right. What we're going to do is we are going to move to a more blended schedule. All right. Where some days are mandatory, some days are blended where you can come in here if you want, or you don't have to, but with the idea that on those days there are certain things that you need to have done by the end of the week, and I'll talk more about those in a little bit. Right now, this is going to be on a week-by-week basis. So Mondays and Fridays right now for sure plan on being here those days. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are going to depend on what's going on that week, and we'll talk about that on Monday. But here's what I want to do. Grading right now, there's going to be a slight adjustment. It's going to be 20% projects and progress. Okay, so like the FedEx projects, and also we'll talk about what's called progress here in a little bit. This is where we talk a little bit more about that structure. And also 80% on assessments. So the way those assessments are going to be set up, every Friday we're going to have an LTA, just like what you do in Mr. Rissy's class and Mrs. Sharp's class. We're going to have unit tests hopefully every 2 to 3 weeks. Last semester it was every 4 to 5 weeks, which means we were taking a long time to get through stuff. And also the quarterly exams. If you want to do the retakes on things, you're going to need to make sure that all your assignments are completed, and we'll talk more about that here in a little bit. But here's the next thing, okay? And this is the new thing. This is what's called your physics notebook. I remember going into college having never done a notebook, all right? If you take any kind of lab class for science in college, they will be sticklers about this. This is the lab notebook that I had to use for my Chemistry 223 class, where, oh my gosh, the person that was in charge of this was the lab notebook Nazi. She was really, really tough on how this was supposed to be. But the idea was that that I had to keep track of everything that I did. I had to document that. I had to show that. I had to add details to that so that she could pick up this notebook and be able to look at that and be able to tell whether I understood the stuff or not. And this is what I've noticed in the last semester. Those of you who, I've had the open notes kind of policy where you could use any notes that you want on your quizzes and tests. And some of you do that in Notability, some of you do that in Google Docs, some of you do that in notebooks, some of you do that on scraps of paper that you cram into folders and things like that. And what I found is that those of you who are the most organized tend to do the best on those assessments. So here's what I need to do. I'm taking that open note policy and kind of putting some more structure to it. You need to have a lab notebook. Okay. Whether that's, now ideally it should be like these, what are they, composition notebooks? Okay. The kind that you don't like rip out. If you were in college, it'd have to be a composition notebook. I'm willing to let you use whatever you want. Okay, but a composition notebook would be the best. It can only be for physics. Okay, so it needs to be just for physics, so you can keep track of stuff. And then when the weekly LTAs come up, and when you have the unit tests, it's all right here. Everything that you need is right in here. All right. Yes, sir.
So if you're not doing that, I put a worksheet on Schoology. You're not doing that?
Well, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to put everything in Schoology, because we're going to be throughout the week, you're going to be working on different things, with the idea that Friday you're taking your LTA, and all the stuff during the week is getting you ready for that. So I'm going to post everything in Schoology. But here's what I found is that a lot of people were complaining to me. They're saying, hey, I really hate working problems in Notability. That just like writing on your iPad was a real pain in the butt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post all of the notes and the problems and things like that in Notability, but you're going to use your notebook. That's where you record your notes. That's where you write down your problems and answers, and so you'll keep it in here, so it'll be a little more easy to access. And then what I want to do is set it up so that your progress is kind of showing me that you understand. And I've been pretty lax on this. At the beginning of the year, we did the reviews, remember this? And it went from me asking lots of questions to just saying, okay, you're ready to go take the test. And that didn't work out at all. So what you're going to have is for every assignment that is that's in Schoology, it's optional. Okay? And when I say optional, I put it there not for it to be one more thing for you to have to do, but to get you ready for that LTA. When I say optional, what I mean by that is you decide how much you're going to do, but it's up to you to know that, hey, I need this to get ready for my LTA or in my exam. So I'm going to put a little more accountability on that of if you choose to skip an assignment, the idea is that it's because you already know it. You already understand all of the details. You get it. In order for me to know that you get it and aren't just being lazy and doing other stuff, I'm going to have what's called a check for understanding question for each assignment, where it's going to be in Schoology. It's going to either be a problem or an idea or something related to what you did in that assignment, where I can look at that and say, you know what, if they know how to do this, I feel really confident that they get it. And that's going to be another thing that's in your notebook, and that's what I'm going to check for throughout the week. Is as you finish assignments, I want to see your check for I want to see what you put, see your check for understanding, and be able to sign off on that. I've been rambling. What am I? Okay, we've talked about you need to have a notebook, and we need to have that notebook by Thursday. So if you want to buy a composition notebook, that's like $2-3. If you want to buy just like a plain notebook, that's $1-ish. If things are such where you're not going to be able to get one of those, talk to me, and I can work out something there. But you need to have your physics notebook ready to go on Thursday. Yes, sir.
Dollar Store in Spring Arbor has both those things.
Do they? Okay. So good old. Wait, are there $2 stores in Spring Arbor now? There's just one. Okay, you're not Vandercook. You don't have 3. All right. Anyways, I shouldn't say that. I'm recording this right now.
Everything there is $1.
5-star notebooks are the best.
5-star notebooks are the best.
Yeah, they don't like. They're pretty.
Yeah.
I need college.
Okay.
They're pretty.
All right. So once again, the idea here is I want you to be able to be more organized, and have all this stuff in one place. Okay. So we've talked about the schedule. We've talked about the grading. We've talked about the physics notebook. As we start doing the physics notebook, there's certain things that I want you to do to make it easy to find. I was amazed by my freshmen last week. I let them use a 1-page cheat sheet, and I gave them a review to do that. And a lot of them were like, "Can I use the review as my cheat sheet?" And the only rule is that it had to be 1 page. Well, what a lot of them did was they took the answers off of the review and wrote the answers just on the 1 page. Okay? What's the problem with that? Not the same questions, but they didn't have the questions. So they had number 5 increases, number 6 stays the same. And if it was just like one person, I would just laugh, but it was a lot of them. So please, you guys are my sanity. Please help me to know that eventually you will get it. But yeah, so there'll be things that I'll have in there to help you stay organized, make it easier for you, make it easier for me. Do you have any other questions on this?
Is this still honors? Everyone?
This is for everyone.
Honors everyone?
Yeah, this is for conceptual physics. This is for honors physics. Yes. Any other questions? Yes.
For the Tuesday through Thursday, do we have to come to class for attendance?
That's something we're going to have to decide on. This week, plan on being here every day. All right? Just to kind of figure things out. But I've got to come up with something that's fair so that if you are here, or just kind of keeping track of things. Yes?
I want to review my exam.
Okay.
How can I do that?
We'll have to set that up outside of class. So on the exam, let me stop this.